How's it going, everyone? So on the very first day that Ultra League started, I decided to take a massive risk and stream Ultra Premier. As you guys know, I'm very comfortable with Ultra League and it's my favorite league with Empoleon and Giratina. I know all the matchups very well, so I decided to take a big risk and do something completely different and go into the Ultra Premier League instead. I figured it'd be a good way to get some views on Twitch, but turns out I did actually really well. So I ended up getting over 100 points in the first day after 6 or 7 sets. And as I was ranking up, gaining MMR, I actually got 12 wins in a row with this team. And my team was Shadow Lapras with Ice Beam and Surf, Togekiss and Dragonite. Obviously, Skull Bash is better for the mirror, but I didn't really want to TM an elite TM to Lapras, especially a Shadow Lapras, so I already invested so many resources into that. So yeah, let me show you the 3 sets in which I got the 12-0 with this team. So the main strategy of this team is to have a strong, solid Pokemon that covers most of the meta, and 2 Pokemon that covers its weaknesses. So Scavalier lead, we have 2 flyers that can take care of that. We use Dragonite as our sack swap or our safe switch, depending on what comes in. We can tank a Shadow Punch, even though he gets to these faster, but just because we can tank that 1 Shadow Punch, we're going to force him to use the 2 shields. And in fact, I think we're able to actually just Dragon Breath him down as well. So up a shield and gaining switchback. I can just throw this Dragon Claw just to do some chip damage, but it's not going to matter much. We come back in with Togekiss, and we don't have to shield any of these things because we double resist Drill Run and we resist Mega Horn. So we're just going to charm away and wait until he switches. And as soon as he switches, we're going to switch as well. And no, we're not going to switch because it doesn't really matter. I was kind of trying to tank a Hydro Cannon on the Lapras, but I couldn't really do it. So at this point, I can just farm down and just throw Surfs into the Escavalier. So that was kind of my strategy. But even if that doesn't work, I can just charm down because my Togekiss is very healthy. So yeah, pretty solid game 1. So for our second game, we're going to get a Gyarados lead, which is okay. If we do land the Ice Beam, we can pretty much like Ice Shard it down in 2 or 3 Ice Shards. Generally, I don't shield, I keep them for my Togekiss. He is unfortunately going to shield this Ice Beam and then switch to a Escavalier. And here I make a mistake. I should have switched to Dragonite because Togekiss has a more favorable matchup to Gyarados than Dragonite does because of those Dragon Breaths. So I should have switched into Dragonite there, and that's probably going to lose me the game because both Togekiss can take care of Escavalier and Gyarados. Now, this is a huge problem as well. Lapras in the back is a huge problem because it kind of takes out my back line, and so I kind of need Lapras to fight it. But if he loses a lot of HP from the first battle that we lead in, it's a bit troublesome. So I think he's going to switch into Gyarados. So alright, I need to switch in now. I'm not going to get a better matchup than this. I need to shield and farm down and try to do as much damage to this this Lapras that I can. I do manage to get 1 Dragon Claw, but he double Ice Shards on the desync there, and I couldn't get it. But even if I did, I don't think it mattered. That switch was my mistake. So yeah, game 3, we're going to have a Gengar lead. You can tank the Shadow Ball, so I generally don't shield, and I can get to 2 Surfs before he can get to a Shadow Ball and a Shadow Punch. So he's going to throw the Shadow Ball here. Honestly, it was the first time me seeing how much damage it did. I was pretty confident it wouldn't kill though, even with the Shadow. And so we're up a shield and we have switch, and so this is looking really good. So we go into our Togekiss against the Machamp because that's probably the best matchup the Togekiss is going to get. Immediately after he switches to Venusaur, so we switch to our Dragonite. Dragonite is really solid because it can pretty much kill any of the starters, and as you know, the starters are very common, especially Charizard and Venusaur. I was pretty confident this was a Frenzy Plant, and at this point, I didn't want to throw my energy because I didn't want to win this matchup and give energy to the Machamp. But with a shield up, it was pretty much in the bag. Game 4, we're going to get a pretty bad lead, but this is good. because the way this team is designed is when we switch to Dragonite, we bait their anti-flyer. And once we, deal a lot of damage to their anti-flyer, I can, 2 Dragon Claws. I actually got lucky I didn't get desynced this time. And now we can come in with our Lapras and finish it off. And once their anti-flyer is out of the picture, that is where our Togekiss can shine and pretty much sweep the team with double shields. At this point right here, I decided to just farm down without throwing any energy so that I could surf the Machamp once and maybe even twice. So we're gonna like exceed our maximum energy by 2 ice shards, but that's totally okay considering I can now throw 2 surfs here. And surprisingly, he doesn't shield, so instead of getting farmed down, I just quickly switch to my Togekiss and bank on that surf for later use. Now that I have the Drifblim, I do need to shield these Icy Winds. It's not stab and it's not high damage, but these are probably the best things I should be shielding. I end up throwing my Aerial Aces immediately because I want to get the shields down because I still have that surf just in case I need it. And we do CMP here. I can't do the CMP switch anymore because that's fixed. And I do manage to charm it down even with 3 Icy Wind debuffs. So for the last game of our set against a fellow streamer, Sassafras, we get the Gengar again. And this time he chooses not to shield the surf. So we're going to see how much a Shadow Lapras surf does to a Gengar. Quite a lot. He's going to do the Shadow Ball and then immediately switch to the Machamp to try to farm me down. But I managed to quickly switch out. Unfortunately, Togekiss would have been amazing here. And I could have not needed to use any shields. I guess I'm just too used to using Dragonite as my safe switch when a quick switch happens, but this is also not bad because I can still get switched back and have a lot of energy for what's in the back after shielding twice. He comes in with a shiny Honchkrow and he does a really good sack switch here, but at this point it doesn't really matter because I can get his last shield down here with Dragon Claw. I decide to switch to Togekiss and pretty much force him to use his energy, force him to Brave Bird, which doesn't even kill me, and that way I can finish him off regardless with the other Pokemons, even if it did. So finishing the set with a 4-1, getting 20 points, pretty good. Continuing on with the streak now into the second set, we get the best lead we can possibly get. And when he switches into Snorlax, we just switch out to Dragonite because our other 2 Pokemon have a much better matchup against Dragonite. We do land the Hurricane there, which basically gives us switch barely and no farming room for the enemy Pokemon, which is a Lapras. So if we gave any more room to farm for that Lapras, that would have been troubling. This is a really boring mirror match, so I'm just going to speed this up way more. And so pretty much we kind of have to just double shield and do as much damage as we can so that this Lapras doesn't go into our Togekiss. And yeah, we trade shields, we trade surfs, and he ends up killing me, but he's really low right now, and I know I can charm him down before he gets to an Ice Beam. I easily take care of the Dragonite, and I take the game. So this next game was a bit weird. I do a lot of silly things, and I still end up winning, but spoilers. So yeah, I switch into Dragonite after this awful lead. I take his first shield, and for some reason, I choose not to. I honestly don't know why. I know it kills me, but I don't know. So I come in with Togekiss after waiting the clock. He then comes in with Venusaur, which is really bad. So I realize I basically have to win with Lapras now. I throw the Aerial Ace. I'm actually surprised he shielded. And so after he shielded, I decide just to sack him. But he ends up baiting. So after that, I just switch into Lapras. My plan was to just double shield farm down and have 100 energy for his last Pokemon. But yeah, after that bait, I just had to switch anyway. So at this point, I throw the Ice Beam and the Surf, which is, the perfect amount of energy to damage to kill the Snorlax. I could have honestly shielded that and just like throw the Surf and then throw another Surf and a couple of Ice Shards into the Venusaur to kill it. But at this point, I pretty much won. I can just double shield these obvious Frenzy Plants and just Aerial Ace for the win. This is also why I like Aerial Ace better than Ancient Power, because where Ancient Power is better for Charizard, Aerial Ace is better for literally everything else. And I'm not a gambling man, so I don't really go for the boost. So next game, we get a Charizard lead, which is okay. We need to either shield the Blast Burn or tank a Dragon Claw to win. But he makes that decision a lot easier for me by switching to Obstagoon. So we just go in with our Togekiss. It's 8 or 9 or 10, I'm not really sure, to counters to Gunk Shot. So I decided to shield the first one just to be safe to gain switch. And the second one was obviously a Night Slash, so I just tanked that. He comes in with Lapras here, which is, you know, a problem for our team. We throw the Flamethrower, which is a bit more damage than the Aerial Ace, and it's neutral. And we get actually quite a lot of charm damage here. So I think this Togekiss has pretty much won us the game by doing a lot of damage to this enemy Lapras. I make sure to farm up to 8 Waterfalls or 2 Surfs before throwing to pretty much bait the Skull Bash just to take the shields down. And I'm actually surprised that this is our first Skull Bash Lapras that we see today. But because of all that extra charm damage that we got on the Togekiss, it's not going to matter. And because we're a Shadow, we'd still do quite a bit of damage even though he got debuffed. So I'm going to do a couple of extra Ice Shards, just one away from another Surf before taking him out, just so that I can get to it quickly, so that I can take the last shield from the Charizard before it fire spins me down. And at this point, it's pretty much GG because I can shield this Dragon Claw. He's going to get to another one, but my Dragon Claw and the extra Dragon Breaths are going to take it out. So yeah, the Togekiss with the extra charms there definitely pulled, pretty much won us the game for that Lapras. So next game we go against a Swampert. Swampert's pretty good, especially for Shadow Lapras, because even if it tanks the Earthquake, you can still win the 2 shields. So just in case it's a bait, I don't shield the first one. And even if it is an Earthquake, I feel that gives them the idea, oh, I landed the Earthquake, I'm gonna win now. But just the Ice Shard damage with the 2 shields, you can still win. So I just throw these Hydro Cannons immediately, and he doesn't shield any of them. So he's going to keep his shields for the Heracross. So I end up getting Switch, which was what my plan was. So yeah, after he sees the Togekiss, I switch to my Dragonite, and you're just going to see how amazing Dragonite is into the Charizard. So even with a shield down, so 1 shield versus 2, it pretty much solos the Charizard because it's taken both shields. And yeah, look at it's pretty much the same health, and all I had to do, in fact, I didn't even need to use that shield. So I just go in with Togekiss, and yeah, I'm forced him to quit. Dude, I'm about to get my 5-0. Don't leave. Dude, chill. I ain't leaving anywhere. So this last game of the second set is a Venusaur, which is pretty good. To win this, we need to basically land a Surf, because then the Ice Shards can pretty much finish the rest. So what I do is I bait an Ice Beam to take the first shield, and then I throw an obvious Surf for the second one, just so that he is inclined not to shield it, and I can Ice Shard down after shielding. So I do have to use both shields, but I get Switch. And then he comes in with Obstagoon. I decided to throw Ice Beam here because I felt he isn't going to shield if he's only got 1. And I didn't want to get farmed down so that he can Gunk Shot my Togekiss. So I just immediately switch in. And he sees that he's not going to get to it. So he switches to Swampert. And now, once again, this is why we have Aerial Ace. And both his Pokemon are like super low HP. And with that extra shield, it's not going to matter anymore. With Dragonite in the back, it's pretty much game. And because of my IVs, I can tank this pretty well. He's forced to throw his Night Slash so he doesn't get charmed down. And I decide not even to show him my Dragonite and take the win with just 2 Pokemon. And so yeah, we get my 5-0 and we're back at rank 9. So yeah, starting our last set, we get the Escavalier lead. So we're going to have to switch to our Dragonite to bait out the Flyer. The Anti-Flyer, and we don't really get an Anti-Flyer, but more like an Anti-Dragonite, and we barely get to the Hurricane, so we can't reach the Hurricane. So that was more of an experiment to see if I got to it or not. But now we pretty much have to just farm this down, and we barely do that, and we have 2 Surfs for the Escavalier. I try to get them back to back without any counter sneaking in, and I do manage to do that, which is really good. And then I switch to Togekiss so I can keep that as a sack switch later, or just so that I don't give him 1 counter of energy. Don't need to shield any of these Mega Horns or drill runs, so I can keep my shields for whatever's in the back, which is a Gyarados. And these Aqua Tails, these new Aqua Tails, are very fast and very spammy, so he has actually managed to get both off before dying, which is pretty good, much better than Crunch or any other of his moves. I actually forgot that I used both Surfs. I thought I had one left, so I switch in to land the Surf, but it was completely, yeah, I already used them both, but I was pretty close to another Aerial Ace to take the game. So next game we get another boring Lapras lead, but don't worry, I'm not going to fast forward it too much because it's not going to last long, don't worry. So go up to a potential Skull Bash, and he also does that as well, so I shield just in case, and I throw my potential Skull Bash Surf, and he also shields just in case. And then he switches to Venusaur, which is kind of dumb because I literally just, you know, like went up to a lot of energy, so I could just throw the Ice Beam to take the last shield and then switch to Dragonite and pretty much farm down. I tanked the Sludge Bomb. I need to start shielding the first one because the first one's obviously the Sludge Bomb, and the second one and the third one could be a Frenzy Plant. I was actually really pissed, and I was like, please don't die, and I actually managed to survive. And so, which is really good because now I can actually throw this Hurricane into the Lapras and not give him much energy. And remember, I did throw that Ice Beam into the shielded Venusaur, so I am behind on energy, but that Hurricane pretty much, you know, solidified. Then he switches to Hariyama, which is kind of spicy. He does have Heavy Slam, which is not stab, so I know I can survive it, and he's not going to get to another one. And I am able to throw another charge move at this Lapras, another flying charge move even, Aerial Ace again, and I can actually charm it down. So yeah, another win. So next game, we actually get something different. We get the Shadow Snorlax in the lead. Seeing as it's going to take more damage, I decided to just go straight Surf instead of Ice Beam. And generally, they don't throw Superpower first because that just like debuffs them for the rest of the matchup. I decide to switch to my Dragonite just to bait out their flyer, because if there's a Lapras in the back and my Lapras is dead, I pretty much lose the game. And because he took a while to switch, I do manage to get to this Hurricane, which means this Togekiss doesn't get a charge move off, and I get a bit of extra energy on the Lapras, which is really good, which basically ensures that I can surf this guy down and pretty much get switched back. But he decides to shield, which is fine. So I'm gonna shield this just to even it up and just to be safe. But thankfully he has a Dragonite in the back, so GG. So penultimate game, we are going to get the classic starter team. So this time the Charizard doesn't switch, so I know I can just throw Surfs, and if I either shield the Blast Burn or let a Dragon Claw go through, I win the game. And I call it right. And so I know, oh, not win the game, but win the matchup. So I know I pretty much have this in the bag. At this point, I realized, look at my health. He's not going to Blast Burn because that's just going to be overkill. So I let this one go as well. And he actually gets to another one, and I decide, look, I'll just shield this. I have a shield up, and I have Switch. There's no need to give up Switch just for the 2 shields. And which was really important because now that he has Swampert, I can go in with Dragonite. And yeah, that way I don't need to tank those Hydro Cannons on the Togekiss, but I can just farm down. But surprisingly, he actually manages to get 3 Hydro Cannons before I can do a Dragon Claw and farm down. So I decide to shield here just so that I can use the energy into whatever he has in the back. And I thought I could get to this Hurricane, and I did. I don't know what happened there, but I guess it was just like 1 turn difference. And then, yeah, as you saw, I got really mad. But thankfully, this Togekiss, rank 69, really tanky. And the Aerial Ace, if this was Ancient Power, I would have lost. So, and because the Swampert has no energy, I take the win. So yeah, really, really stressful game, but barely pulled it through. So last game, and a few big brainers have been counting, this is where this streak unfortunately ends. Poliwrath is probably the hardest counter to Lapras. So, you know, before we switch to Dragonite, kind of surprised how much Ice Punch does. Quite a lot, double super effective. We do take the shield though, which is pretty big, and we are managed to get another Dragon Claw into the Venusaur, who also shields, which is really interesting. So we let this go. Obviously, Frenzy Plant. And with Poliwrath in the back, I realized I need to keep my shields for the Togekiss, so I let this go, knowing I can survive it. And before it can farm me down, I just throw the Surf, just get it out the way. And then as soon as Poliwrath comes back, I switch into my Togekiss. I shield the first one because I'm probably going to shield another one. And then he comes in with Charizard. And at this point, I can either shield a Blast Burn or he can bait. And I decide not to shield the potential bait, and it pretty much ends up costing me the game. And so yeah, you could see I needed like another 3 more charms. So if I did shield the Blast Burn, I would have won. But at the same time, if he baited, if I shielded a Dragon Claw, he would have been also able to get to another Blast Burn. But another 4-1, and yeah, 12-0. So can't really complain of that. It was a nice surprise to get on the very first day trying this, you know, random team. Getting a new peak for season 9 at season 3. 25-38. I end up, you know, waiting till midnight and playing another set, and I end up going to 25-44 as you saw earlier on the video. Now, you're probably asking, hey, what can I replace Shadow Lapras with? I would say Empoleon is pretty good. You know, it beats a lot of the flyers. It still loses to fighting. It's very similar, and it beats Lapras as well. So I'd actually say Empoleon is a bit better. Obviously, it doesn't hard counter the flyers, but it does counter them somewhat. And I would also recommend not to use double flyer in the back anymore, because I kind of tried this team today, and there is pretty much everyone has wised up that how good Lapras is in this league, and almost every team has a Lapras, and every Lapras now has Skull Bash, so I can't really use mine anymore because it just insta loses. So I'll probably try some different teams this week. And yeah, I just encourage you to, you know, don't be a little bitch, you know. First day, just try some stuff out, because if you think about it, everyone is clueless. Everyone doesn't know the matchups. So at the very most, you're gonna take advantage of everyone else's uncertainty, and you know, potentially gain a lot of points like I did. So yeah, break your limits, break your boundaries, plus ultra, all that anime shit, you know, exceed your limits and whatnot. And yeah, try to, you know, experiment as well like I did. I was honestly prepared to, you know, lose like another 150 points, and I was just kind of doing this for Twitch views. I was just basically like, let's do something new, let's get some Twitch views, fuck it, you know. But surprisingly, I did really well. Lapras is, yeah, very good. Everyone else has caught on to that. So the secret is out. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. Sorry this is taking so long. I didn't really like Great League so much because every second day I had to change my team, so I didn't really make a video on that. And Sylph is pretty much done. So I've just been looking through my old videos, and maybe I can make some salty compilation videos from the last few months. So I'll be getting those out in the next following weeks. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please share my content. And if you don't follow me on Twitch, if you want to see these games live, I kind of stream 2-3 days a week. And follow me on Twitter. That way you'll know exactly when I'm streaming, because I'll usually say, hey, I'm gonna stream today on my Twitter, and then you'll know. Or you can follow me on Twitch, and then you'll get notified immediately. But if you like to, if you're a control freak like me and you like to plan your day, then feel free to follow me on Twitter, and you can, you know, plan that into your busy little schedule. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Azure out.